Have you heard about Anchor? Well, it's one of the easiest ways to create a podcast. Not only is it 100% free, but it has a variety of creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or a computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast to other sites such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many others for you. And Anchor even allows you to make money from your podcast without a required minimum listenership. So whether you've been in the podcasting game for a long time or you're completely new to it, Anchor is so user-friendly that it's basically your one-stop shop for making a podcast. So what are you waiting for? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
You're listening to First Fossil. Because sometimes you simply need someone to help you take that first fossil. Hello and welcome to First Fossil, a show where we learn together how to take that first fossil toward becoming the best versions of ourselves. My name is Candace Olushala, and for this month's episodes, I want to take the time to share things that I have been thankful for this year in 2021. So this year, I have been thankful for my immediate family. They have watched me go through some tough times this year with work, with school, with trying to find ways to do more of what I'm truly, truly passionate about and the ups and downs that come with all of that. They cheered me on through my graduating from my master's in public health from George Washington University this summer. They cheered me on in the opportunities that I've gotten to do presentations and host events and live my most exciting life. They have absolutely supported me and loved me through this venture of leaving pharmacy practice to be a full-time entrepreneur and creative. They have encouraged me, they have provided me advice, and have enjoyed watching me transition. Their belief in me and in what God has placed in me has been more than I could ever ask them. So, Mom, Dad, Kevin, Kellon, Lee, and baby Kaya, thank you guys so much for your love and support for me this year. And like every other year before this one. So, obviously, love you guys so much. Today's episode is on the puzzles of life and how we can actually complete them. So I've realized, I've recognized, and I've caught on that more and more people keep asking me for a step by step, practical steps to take when figuring out life. I often get this question. Well, what am I supposed to do? I need the checklist. Like I need that. Where is that? Why aren't people providing that for me? I recognize that a lot of us freak out when we don't have the exact blueprint or instructions to go somewhere, especially those of us that are very type A and we need to know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or else we're not doing anything. We're not moving. We're not starting. We're not finishing until we get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. But here's the thing about life. Life doesn't always provide the clearest picture. And I'm sure, much to your dismay, you don't actually realize how awesome that actually is. We're so used to having things given to us, or we desire for things to be given to us, that we don't always like to actually utilize the gift of imagination that our brains are capable of doing, things that other species cannot do. We don't realize how powerful and beautiful a gift that is. That we have this innate skill to just create, to think, come up with a path. So, even if we do have the clearest picture, at least we think it's the clearest picture for where we're going and what we're going to do, we don't actually always have the steps. In fact, a lot of times when we do have our steps, and when I say that, I mean we've given ourselves the steps to take, life doesn't always allow us to take them straight in order as we planned, or it might have a different timeline, or it just might not go anywhere close to what you had envisioned for yourself. I will say this transition from my 9 to 5 to my anytime, that was not something that I planned. I had a vision, I had the picture of where I was going, kind of. I had enough of a picture to say there's something there. I should probably go towards it. And I made the plans to leave my 9 to 5, give myself a 90-day plan, spent 30 days of that plan fasting and praying for God to help me figure out what to do in these 90 days. And realized that I was not going to be trying to have an interim period to find a new pharmacy job per se, but that this was actually a transition out of pharmacy practice and into the full picture that was in my head that God had shown me for years. And I actually had no clue how that was going to happen. I've been picturing something beyond school and career, and I couldn't figure out how I was gonna get from my career to my vision. I just it didn't even make sense to me. But this transition has been very eye-opening for me. And newsflash, I still don't have all the steps. And I've realized how actually amazing and fun that opportunity can be. Not everyone's situation in life makes making the steps always quote unquote fun in the traditional sense of the word. But as I've said multiple times, learning and growing from your experiences are so much more important than the entire process that you take to get anywhere. So if you're going places and you're trying to figure out all these things, but you're not actually learning or growing or becoming more wise or knowledgeable, then all of those steps and all those the journeys that you've taken, they don't really hold much weight. You want to grow, you want to develop, you want to mature, you want to get stronger. You want to be strong minded and walk in knowing who you fully are and being free to step into that. And it takes being in your day to day life consciously. Even when you are in your day to day, you can't always see beyond that day. Heck, you might not even be able to see beyond the moment that you're in, but you're trying to process it. Of course, there are exceptions to this experience where some things are just so traumatic that your brain actually removes you from that space mentally, and that's called protection. And so that, I mean, obviously those things matter too, and yet even in those moments something in you is learning, whether it's your body that's learning something, your subconscious is learning, something's always grasping a tool whether you recognize it or not. And it's when you're able to recognize it that you're actually growing and healing and developing and maturing and becoming more liberated to be yourself. So, for those that keep asking and keep wondering, what is the blueprint? How do I contemplate the puzzles of life? Let me say this one thing. Whether or not you see the picture, let's say you have a box, right? You have a box that's a puzzle box, and you know that the cover of the box has the picture. Now, You've been in situations where you've taken this box, you've seen the picture, you open it, and there are absolutely no instructions on how to put this puzzle together, but there are pieces, and you pray to God that all the pieces that are there are there. Sometimes they're not, and there's missing pieces, and you have to find them. And sometimes you work with an incomplete picture, and that happens, and you make the best of it. Sometimes you have the wrong pieces and you're trying to make it fit and it does not work. And you just need to be honest with the fact that these pieces are not going to go together. And so just deal with it and don't try that again. But you see the picture, you see the end result, and then you have just pieces. Let me tell you, not a single person is going to take that box, dump it out, and put it together the same way as any other person on the planet. It's just not possible. No one is wired the same way that you are, and no one is going to see things the way that you see them, and no one's going to experience things the way that you experience them. And that's the beauty of being creative. Now, sometimes you don't get to see what the cover of the box is. Maybe someone else has the box and they see the picture and they dump out all the pieces and they say, "All right, well, let's go. Let's try it." And yet they never showed you the picture. They see the picture. So you don't really know what it is. And they're like, "Just trust me. Just trust me. I know what it looks like. Just start putting pieces together." You might feel lost. Okay. You might actually feel lost trying to put this puzzle together. But because you're with someone who you know knows the picture, you don't really have to be as frustrated because technically they're leading the way, even though you have no idea what's actually happening. But as you keep moving with them, you'll start to see the picture. You'll start to see the picture they've always seen the whole time, and you'll eventually complete it together. So, if I had 5 tips on ways that people could complete their puzzles, this is what I would say. Number one, work with the pieces that are in front of you. Sometimes it's just one piece. Work with that piece, study that piece, learn that piece until you get another piece or a couple of pieces. And maybe those pieces don't seem to go together. Maybe they do. Maybe they just seem like random pieces in the box. Like, why did I get these random pieces? I don't understand how it's going to come together. Just get to the imagination, the envisioning. Sometimes when you're making the puzzle piece, you might not have all of the right pieces together exactly in order, but you can start kind of placing them and just picturing maybe this would go about here. That might not exactly be it, but I'm just going to put that there just in case it's kind of in the vicinity of where I think that piece might be. And we'll adjust accordingly later as we get more pieces. And that's okay. Work with the piece that you got right there. Number two, don't give up, whether you have seen the picture on the box of your life or not. Sometimes you got to step away, come back, try again. The more that you take your time, process, and persevere through placing the puzzle pieces together, the more fulfilling and rewarding it is in the completion of the piece. Don't worry about how long it's taking everyone else to complete theirs. If they complete theirs faster, whoop de doo for them. They have a different box. They have a different set. It's not even the same puzzle piece. You have your set and someone else has theirs, their own set. They have different circumstances, different everything. So don't be worried about people saying, "Oh, I finished my piece." Da, 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 da. You have no idea what got them there. You have no idea how they reached where they are. You don't know if they cheated. You don't know anything. Focus on what's in front of you and just don't give up. Don't give up. Don't let the timing and the mismatching get in the way of you persevering through trying to see the picture on the other side of all these pieces. Number three, ask for help if you need it. Please don't struggle alone. It is okay to ask for help. Ask until you get the help that you need. And in the interim, when you're not finding help, keep persevering. Number four, have fun figuring it out. it's cool mix matching the pieces and being like, "Oh, that didn't work. I thought it was gonna work, but I learned that it doesn't." As long as you're learning, it can be fun to try to put the pieces together that you think might work and then recognizing when it doesn't. The thing that you don't wanna do, like I said earlier, is forcing pieces together that clearly do not go together. That's not fun, and it's also damaging to the pieces. So be gentle, be patient, be kind to what's in front of you, and have fun figuring it out because it's as creative as you can imagine it to be. And number 5, continue to learn the lessons about yourself along the way. Learn more about who you are, what makes you tick, and why the process of putting this puzzle together is actually making you into a better person. Because you don't want to be the same person that started putting the puzzle piece together by the end of its completion. We can only hope that you were just as full and complete and beautiful as the picture that you just assembled. Now, I will say, for those of you that struggle with the idea that God has plans for you, and yet you don't have the plans, like you're like, "Hey God, remember when you gave Noah the instructions on how to build that boat? Can we do that for this situation? How do I step into this relationship with this man? Or how do I get that money, honey? Or how do I become A B C D E F Z? Hey, okay, like we can get frustrated that God's not sharing the plan. Like you said, you have the plan for me. Why can't I see that plan? Why do I feel like I'm guessing? I feel like you're not talking to me. I feel like you're not communicating anything to me. I'm out here just swimming in the ocean of I don't know. But I want to know what's the plan? What's the plan? I will follow the plan. Just let me see the plan. Let me tell you, if you follow a God that holds the picture and you know that he has the plan, you don't have to worry because you're working with the person who didn't just have the plan, he created a plan. So you're in good hands. Okay. You're in great hands in trying to figure it out. And the cool thing about God is that he creates this space where we can be as creative as we desire with the pieces that he's given us, as long as we're checking in with him to say, hey, can you continue to help me with this piece? Because I don't want to do this alone. He might not actively put those pieces together for you, but he can say, I'm right here. Like, I'm right here and I'll make sure to guide you, even if it's not the clearest guidance that you would want. It might not even be the checklist type of guidance that you desire, but just his presence, knowing that he's with you, that picture is going to be completed. And he's going to allow that free will to seep in and allow you to be creative in that process. For those of you that wrestle with the thoughts of not having everything laid out for you, don't sweat it. Why don't you enjoy being a creative? Because you can be a creative in any situation. Don't feel like you have to be rushed. Everything has a process. But know that once you get to the end, you get to sit and marvel at the beauty that you got to create. That's today's episode. If you liked it or you want to hear more topics like it, let me know in my email, my social media, on my website, www.firstpaso.com. Hit me up online. Let me hear from you. I love hearing from you guys. You guys have such great comments and ideas and insights that teach me. And I would love to hear from you guys on this topic. Are there parts of your life where you feel puzzled about? You're not quite sure what you're doing, where you're going, how to achieve it, how to get over it, how to get out of it, how to escape, how to make it through. And if you have had seasons of where different parts of the puzzle have been created, or you've realized that your life has multiple puzzles and you remember completing one and now you're in another season of completing another puzzle, share those with me. I would love to hear your thoughts on completing these puzzles and learning more about yourself. What have you learned from going on the venture of putting the puzzles of life together? Thanks for listening to today's episode, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. Please stay safe. Enjoy Thanksgiving season. This is it. I love it. For some of you guys, it's the top of Christmas season. And so enjoy that as well. Enjoy time with your loved ones and marinating in the things that you're also thankful for. Please share things that you're thankful for with me too. I love that. Thank you for your love and support. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share any episode that you love with the people that you truly love and let them know why. Anyways, talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. Bye.